This is how you hack your way to copywriting success. So have you ever wondered how to actually write good, decent sales copy without spending thousands of dollars on courses or, weeks or months studying the greatest copywriters of all time and writing by hand, hundreds, if not thousands of words of other people's sales copy? Well, this is going to be a little hack for you. So by the end of this vlog, you're either going to be very thankful or you're going to think I'm a complete idiot when it comes to copywriting, and you will be flabbergasted that I've ever made it as a marketer doing things the way that I do. So a quick little backstory, 30 seconds, then we'll dive in and I'll show you in my Basecamp how I figure out how to write semi-decent bullet points, right? I'm not going to say winning any $1 million awards, making millions of dollars with these, but essentially what I'm doing this quarter is we're launching 9 mini products. So these products are going to be anywhere from $5 all the way up to $10, $15. And so I have to write a lot of sales copy in order to convince people that it's worth their money, right? That's kind of what sales copy is for, right? Showing people that the product or service is actually worth their time and going to make their lives better. So the process that I follow is, of course, looking at copywriters who are way better than me. And that's the exact same thing you should do. So if you're familiar with Russell Brunson and his kind of funnel hacking thing, this is similar, except copywriters have been doing this for ages, and this is much more widely accepted in terms of learning copywriting. But I'm not going to tell you to handwrite all of the sales letters that you look at, because that's pretty extreme. Although sales copywriting courses that I've taken, almost every single one of them, somewhere in there says, find great sales copy and then write it word for word. So this is going to be a little faster and a little less work, right? So here's an example of the one-page funnel we're putting together using Thrivecart, and we're going to be selling this little Google Sheet tool to help people better understand how their traffic, conversions, and pricing all works together to make sure that they are actually going to make money. So let's go ahead and jump right in here. So this is my Basecamp. I'm going to zoom on in. So this is the sales copy that I'm going to end with. So this is a sales copy of our actual page. So this is what the end result was after hours and hours of work. By the way, this takes a really long time. I've probably taken way too long in doing the introduction. So when you're looking at other people's sales copy, it doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same offer. In fact, I try not to look at the exact same offer to make sure that I come up with my own words and I don't just copy other people's. So you'll see in a second. So as you go through other people's copy, you want to look for something called power words. That'll become pretty clear in a moment. Results and benefits, like are they actually going to be able to do, or what do they enjoy as a result of consuming the product or service? You want to look for the features, deliverable, unique mechanism, like what's actually being delivered. And then how are the copywriters handling objections, common phrases for your niche or industry. I'll just skip that for now. And then verbs, as in what actions are the prospects going to have to take? And then of course, common copy phrases like without, even if, so you can, allowed you to, I forgot that one. So essentially what I do is I go to sales pages and I copy all of the bullet points, right? So this particular example is from Digital Marketer. So I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that you should just blatantly copy other people's stuff. This is for educational purposes only, right? So what I do is I go through the copy and I will highlight each one of those words. We'll have a little legend here for you so you don't have to remember what all the colors mean. So let's just go through this first one, and then I'm going to go through several examples. So number one, you can pause the screen and see how I've gone through this process. And number two, you can see lots of examples. So the first thing I do here is I just read through and I look for what is being delivered. So that's in blue. And you'll see the very first one, it says in this workshop, I could have highlighted workshop in blue, you'll leverage content marketing expert Russ Hinnenberry's, I should have figured out how to pronounce that before I started, right? Secret, which is a power word, step-by-step formula to create a blog post that builds awareness, drives leads, and most importantly, generates sales automatically and predictably. Sounds pretty good, right? We're all entrepreneurs and business owners. We'd like that for our business. So you can see awareness, driving leads, generate sales. Those are the results and benefits of consuming the product. What's actually being delivered here is a step-by-step formula. And then of course, automatically, predictably, and secret, those are power words. And the best way I could describe them is just adjectives or verbs that add a punch to what's being said. So you could just say, Russ's step-by-step formula to build awareness, get leads, and have more sales, right? As opposed to builds awareness, drives leads, automatically, predictably, right? Now, obviously, if the product doesn't do that, don't use the words, don't use those words. But I just wanted to emphasize that a little facetiously to show you what you're essentially looking for here. So going through these particular bullet points, again, you can always pause. I'm not going to go bullet point by bullet point. Don't worry. I'm not going to bore you with that. Unless you want me to, then comment below, and I will do a vlog where I literally go bullet point by bullet point. This is a very, very long document. There's a lot here to look at. But okay, let's not get epilepsy here. Scrolling down. So also what I do is I make little notes as I'm going through. So for example, people want to read, and then REI, Glassdoor, and Charles Schwab. So I highlighted those in gray because those are handling objections. And the common objection is people actually don't really care about, content all that much, or nobody else is doing this and this isn't actually going to lead to sales. So something else that's really important when you're looking at copy in your niche or industry is try and figure out what is being spoken to through the copy so you can better understand who the copy is designed for, right? So if we go down to this last bullet point, learn digital marketers tips for crafting your own winning post along with some quick, which is a power word, and dirty methods. Method is the deliverable here that will work for you even if, you always use even if, right? Or without, you've never written a blog post in your life. So that obviously that's handling the objection that someone's reading this. The large amount of their readers might not already have a blog or might not already be in the content marketing game. And so this might seem really elementary, right? Because I'm cherry picking here. There's a lot we could talk about, but that's one of the, I think, most important things you can do when looking at other sales letters and other landing pages in your niche or industry is trying to figure out what are the buying objections. So I'll get to another one that is pretty much half buying objections. It's the one about social media. So let's just scroll down to this next example here. And something that I really liked in this one is dots. If we go to my copywriting notes, you see dots between content and sales. And so this is another product that deals with content marketing. And essentially what they're working with here is trying to really hound in the point that content can in fact actually equal sales. And you can see in the second bullet point, that's where dots between content and sales came from. So that's this bullet point right here. So I'll get to this one in a moment because this one is a perfect example of like a done for you template. But if I come down here to this one, choose from 11 goals and 13 different types. So those are the deliverables. They're going to be given goals. They're going to be given types of content to create a content strategy that is laser focused, not just focused, laser focused, right? On moving the needle for your organization. Building this content plan is a snap using our content marketing plan worksheets, right? So here they are really talking about moving the needle. The focus of this particular bullet point, in my opinion, right? It could be different, is letting people know that this is actually going to affect their bottom line, because a common objection to content marketing is, I'm just making a bunch of content and it's not actually going to be doing anything, right? And then of course, laser focused, snap, those are different, essentially, they're being used as adjectives here to really accentuate and drive home the point that's being made. So when we see snap, snap is actually just saying it's easy, right? So instead of saying easy, we're saying snap. So one of the things you can do with your sales copywriting is once you've written a bullet point, go through and see how you can add extra verbs or adjectives to whatever you've written to kind of beef it up. So let's go ahead and go to this first one because this is a bullet point formula you can pretty much copy. So we're going to go with a verb and a verb of what someone's going to do. So learn, leverage, discover, identify, uncover, how to, which is the most common phrase you can use in copywriting. And then another verb, create, build, craft, exploit, and then whatever your unique mechanism or deliverable is. So this is ideal customer avatar. This could be a blueprint, a worksheet, a guide, a PDF, the secret formula, whatever. And then you're going to get this so you can, and then a result, a action that they want to be able to take, which in this case is architect a content strategy that easily attracts leads and buyers. So we could just as easily change architect to another power verb, and then content strategy. It could be a sales funnel strategy. It could be a traffic tactic, the best traffic formula. I'm drawing blanks here. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing blanks here. And then that easily attracts leads and buyers. So there is your, ultimately, why do they want this? They want leads and buyers. I don't know if I'm doing a good job here. I'm just going to keep scrolling. I think I spent way too long on this. So this is a completely different niche, right? So this is from Mike Dillard and his product, The Elevation Group. Quick rundown, it was pretty much just a product that taught people how to, quote unquote, invest like the rich. So it talked about different tax strategies, trusts, and foreign investments, and all that fun stuff. But something I wanted to point out with these bullet points, again, you can pause, is that they're very focused on security and protection. So you'd think a lot of investment products would talk about, hey, here's how you make a bunch of money, or here's how you get out of your situation, and here's the magic, pill to riches. Whereas if we actually look at these bullet points are actually designed for someone who already has money, right? So if we look at the first one, secure your quality of life and grow your money. Well, you have to be happy with your quality of life to secure it, right? You're not in a bad situation and you're trying to get rich. You're in an okay situation and you don't want to fall backwards. And then grow your money. Well, obviously you have to have some money to grow it. And then if we go to the second bullet point here, at the very end it says protecting your assets and reducing your taxes. Well, both of those bullet points mean absolutely nothing to somebody who is in a low tax bracket. Like here in the States, you can be as low as, I think, 10% or something. I shouldn't have said that. So you could, I don't remember, but you can be in very low tax brackets here in the States. So if you're not making a ton of money and you're only like in a 10 or 11% tax bracket, depending upon how you file, well, then that's not really going to matter to you as much. Whereas because they're obviously targeting people who already have a great deal of money, and it's like $1,500 a year, so that's probably why, it's clearly communicating to me, if I was trying to create a competing product, saying, oh, well, they're talking to people who already have money. They're not talking to people who are trying to, quote unquote, get their feet wet with investing, or they're, hustling and grinding and they only have a little bit of assets to play with. So these are people, they're really talking about protecting, securing, because they want to make sure that they're targeting people who have something that they don't want to lose, right? And then the other one here, members' toughest questions. So this was a really clever way to handle the objection of, hey, everything in here is just going to be stuff that I've heard before. It's elementary. And so I just want to point that out because that was pretty cool. So scrolling down here, let's go ahead and go to our last example. Apologies for the cut. There we go. This is the last example where they are just handling objections left and right. So this one is, I believe it's about social media marketing. So what we're looking at here, I'm going to quickly go through this and then we'll go back to I said quickly, but we're over 15 minutes here. So let's go ahead and we'll just jump right in. I'm going to assume that you actually care at this point. So we're going to go a lot slower. So in this live workshop, you'll work directly with digital marketer director of content, Garrett Holmes, to create a social media strategy that caters to your specific goals, your bandwidth, your brand, using high impact strategies that you can implement in hours, not weeks. So right off the bat, the clear objection is this is going to take way too much time, right? And then if we go to the first bullet point, we can see it ends with using resources you already have. And your brand was the other objection in the front. I'll get to that in a moment. So the first bullet point, using resources you already have. So they're handling the objection that, number one, this is not going to take you a lot of time. And number two, you can use what you already have. So you're not going to have to make some sort of big extra investment. And looking at my copywriting notes here, if we actually count, 4 bullets directly talk to the time objection, that this is going to take way too long. So if we go over here, get more bang for your social media buck, and then we go highest earning, that's a different one, sorry. Where is it? Time. So the last one, save valuable time again. So this is just an example. I know I'm talking over myself. It's hard to think and talk at the same time. So what's really important, and just what I'm trying to drive home here, is look for the objections that are being handled in other people's sales copy. And so even if you're not doing this exact same product, time, money, effort is those three are always like the biggest objections. People want it faster, they don't effort, they don't want to do the work, and then money, they don't want to pay for the results, right? Well, in this particular instance, they're really hounding in on the point that this isn't going to take a lot of time. And I actually highlighted highest earning competitors in bullet point number 3 as a objection handler, because I think what they're doing here is they're saying that, hey, you know what? Other people are actually doing this and getting the results that you want, handling the objection that this isn't something that they have to do, as opposed to it just being social proof of this workings. And I just assume that because there's so much objection handling happening right here. So now, if you're still getting some value, please go ahead and hit that like button. Also, if you've found me talking too fast through this, please let me know, because this is definitely out of my comfort zone in terms of styles of vlogs, and this isn't something as easy for me to communicate as putting together a funnel or putting together an ad campaign. So after all of that probably took I don't know how many hours, at least 10 hours of going through that. I went ahead and wrote my own version for one of our products, the product I showed you in the beginning. So we have the headline, Sales Funnel Architect. I didn't really get fancy with that. I was tired. So the ultimate power word, sales projection model. So that's the deliverable. It's a sales projection model. We're just saying what it is to uncover, power word. You could also call this a verb because they're uncovering it, your best sales opportunities and double your funnel ROI. So the big deliverable here, or big benefit or result of using this Excel sheet or using all of these formulas, is to actually increase your return on investment, because you're easily going to be able to see which traffic sources and which campaigns you should really stop running, because they're never going to be profitable given the range of how much clicks or views cost. So we have a product image that I haven't created yet. And so here's what you walk away with. Copy Jason's Sales Funnel Architect model. So it's pretty much the exact same formula as above. To power word, immediately identify your best low-hanging fruit, profit opportunities, and leverage points in your current funnels to maximize conversions and campaign ROI. So our big benefit deliverable, you're going to maximize your conversions and your campaign return on investment. So something that's interesting here that I want to point out, copy Jason's Sales Architect model. This will be the first time that I do something like this. Up until this point, even with our own products or services, I've never positioned myself myself as the reason that someone should actually pay attention. And this just comes out of the fact that my business partner, Jesse, he did an experiment with some sales copy, because I would not write like this out of the gate. And the page performed better when we use vernacular saying copy Jason's XYZ versus just saying use XYZ to get the result that you're looking for. So definitely have some self-confidence in whatever brand that you're building or whatever you've actually achieved. This is something that you can tell I'm fidgeting, because I'm still a little nervous about just putting my name out there and saying, hey, you know what, because I did it, other people should try it too. But the data didn't lie. It worked. So that's what we're going with. So don't feel like you're being arrogant or full of yourself if you decide to go that route. And of course, we might find out that it doesn't work on this one, and we can go back to the copy I'm comfortable with. But when you're uncomfortable, that's normally when the growth actually happens, right? So the first bullet point we have here is take full command of your bottom line using a powerful sales projection model that allows you to, that's a phrase that you can use all the time, just use and abuse it, to plug leaks in your conversion process and instantly cut off traffic campaigns destined for failure. So obviously, you should think that I could do this because I wrote this, but there you go. It's been a couple days, so I'm already forgetting what the reasoning was. But essentially, the reasoning in this first bullet point, leaks in your conversion process, we're assuming that the person already has stuff set up, because the product or calculator is not valuable if you aren't already running traffic. Like, you could use it and say like, hey, if my costs were this or my costs were that, like what would it look like? But we really do actually want to eliminate people who haven't been running traffic or haven't built a funnel, because it's not going to be helpful. So sometimes you can actually eliminate people by talking through the benefits. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. Let's go down. So peek behind the curtain. Feel free to steal that phrase. I've seen that phrase lots of times in learning from other people's copy. So peek behind the curtain at Jason's traffic and funnel conversion strategy. So the conversion strategy is what we're delivering. So it's a traffic and funnel conversion strategy. So you can, another phrase that I love using, allowed you to, so you can, and then copy the strategy to craft your own. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about there. So we'll keep going down. So save valuable time and eliminate analysis paralysis by leveraging pre-configured sales and conversion formulas. Conversion formulas is the deliverable here, and apply them to your business. And then even if you can't stand math. So that is, I'm pretty sure we're going to need more objections to, I hate math, I don't want to do math, don't ask me to do any addition or subtraction. And this bullet point took the longest because I tried so many different versions to create a more clever way of saying you don't have to do math, like addition free or multiplication or subtraction free. But addition, multiplication, subtraction, the words themselves were too long. They were too long. So it said addition and subtraction, and then it's just like half a line. So that's where we just got plug and play numbers instead. So you'll cut out quite a lot. We'll go through these last ones. So choose the perfect price, perfect being the power word here, for your product, using the price to profit equilibrium ratio to maximize your return on ad spend, and most importantly, your revenue. So obviously, maximize return on ad spend, increase your revenue. You can tell that the bullet points here, they're the same benefits, just kind of stated in a different way, and that's okay, because this is ultimately going to be a $7 or less product. So it's not like we can promise the world here. It's going to do 2 or 3 things really well, and that's it. I mean, it's like $7, right? So what I do want to point out here is price to profit equilibrium ratio. That is, I can tell you with a straight face, that's completely made up. I don't know what that is, right? But I do know that one of the deliverables of this product is showing people how their price affects their return on ad spend, because there's a point with your pricing, and you know this is common sense. When you lower your price, you should get more customers, right? And then when you raise your price, you should not get more customers. And there's some sort of point where you have the best ratio of customer volume and price, right? And so that would be quote unquote an equilibrium. So that's where I got price to profit equilibrium ratio. Now, when I'm going ahead and fixing the sheet to actually be ready for sale, I'm going to need to put that in there somewhere. I'm going to need to call that particular calculation the price to profit equilibrium ratio. And that is completely okay. This is one of the reasons I like doing sales copywriting before I'm done with the product, because it allows me to go through and I can say things like this and I go, okay, I better label it the exact same thing in the product, or people are going to ask me, hey man, where's that profit to equilibrium ratio thing that you were talking about? Like I don't see it anywhere, and you call it something completely different in the product. So the last one here, I don't think there's much to go on. I think I've beaten a dead horse at this point. Learn the fundamentals of running sales to cost analysis, that being the deliverable here, how to predictably scale traffic, generate leads, and drive conversions on demand. And so that is my current sales copywriting process. So if you're still watching, please go ahead and hit that like button. If this seems super elementary or time consuming or just kind of idiotic, this is the best way I found to actually write sales copy in a formulaic pattern without being a creative person. So you have to remember that in terms of the way my brain works, I am a numbers accounting person. I am not a creative person. So if you are a creative, you probably look at this and go, wow, like powerful command behind the curtain. I have like 3 other ways I could say that. That's awesome. That's great. You want to be able to do that with your copy. But for the rest of us who don't have that creative kind of way of working for your brain, using a simple system like this, going through and highlighting words so you can start to understand how sentences are structured and put together, then you can actually start creating your own sentences and structure and making sure that you're including all of the elements that you need. Now, of course, you don't always need to have a benefit, a deliverable result, or a power word. Well, should have a power word in every single one. Sorry about that. But those other ones, you don't always have to have every bullet point packed to the max, right? So sincerely hope you got some value out of this video. Believe it or not, I spent a really, really long time trying to figure out how to best communicate this. And you know what? It's the first try, right? So hopefully you can give me some feedback on what worked, what didn't work. Maybe I just talked way too fast and I should have just done one, or maybe you wanted more, right? So please let me know in the comment section below. A couple of you that actually make it to the end of these. So until the next, you know what to do. Keep building the business you love.